Hello boys and girls. Today for language arts, we're going to be using our squirrel book, page 214 and page 219. Go ahead and find those pages, please. We're going to start with page 214. Today we're going to be looking at point of view. We talked about this before we left school. So I don't know if you remember, but I told you that when I think of point of view, I think of glasses. Those are my glasses. Because point of view is the way that somebody sees something. So if we're reading a story, the point of view is the way that the character feels or thinks. So there might be different characters in the story and they might all think or feel differently about the same thing. For example, I told you guys before that if we have an event like what happened recently with the coronavirus, that we all had to stay at home, and when I first told you that there wasn't going to be school, we had different points of view. I told you that your point of view was probably like, yes, there's no school. But your parents' point of view was like, no, that's not good because my son or daughter's not going to be learning at school. So we were looking at the same event, but we all saw it differently. We all felt or thought about it differently. So today we're going to read a story called A Barn Full of Hats, and we're going to see how 3 different characters have different points of view. So I'm going to tell you already, one of the characters is horse. Will you write it down? And then we have hen. And in this case, we're capitalizing it because that's their name in the story. And remember, we always capitalize the name of a character or a person. And the last character is cat. So we have 3 characters in the story: horse, hen, and cat. Now, in this story, these 3 characters find a box of hats. So they all find the same box of hats, but all 3 of them want to use the hat for a different reason. So they all are gonna have a different point of view. They're like, yes, we found a box of hats, cool. But they all wanna use the hats for a different reason. So we're gonna see what their point of view is. Like how are they thinking differently? And we're gonna look for clues in our story to help us tell our point of view. Okay? So think about, as we're reading, what does horse want to use his hat for? What does hen want a hat for? And what does cat want a hat for? Ready? Okay. A barn full of hats. One day, 4 farm animals found a box in the barn. They opened it up. What was inside? Hats, hats, and more hats. Look at all those hats. Who wants one? Asked hen. I do, cried horse. It's smart to wear a hat. A hat will keep the sun out of my eyes. So what does horse want a hat for? Hen stuck her head in the box. She pulled out a flat, round hat. Try this hat, hen told horse. No, that hat is too flat, said horse. A flat hat makes a good nest, chucked hen. So she took the hat and she marched away. So they found hats. Horse wants it for one reason. What does hen want a hat for? Pig pushed his head in the box. He pulled out a bright red hat. Put on this hat, Pig told Horse. No, that hat is too red, said Horse. A red hat looks fine, grunted Pig. So he put on the hat and he marched away. Cat poked her head in the box. She pulled out a thick yarn hat. Try this hat, Cat told Horse. No, that hat is too thick, said Horse. Thick yarn is nice, said Cat. I will take the whole hat apart so I can play with the yarn. She dragged the hat away. So many hats, but none for me, sighed Horse. Just then, Farmer Clark came into the barn. His hat was large and floppy. If only I had that hat, said Horse. That hat will shade my eyes. Horse grabbed the hat in his teeth. Farmer Clark laughed. He put the hat on Horse. It stayed on with no problem. It fits well, Farmer Clark said. Horse trotted to the barnyard. Clip clop, he held his head high. Yes, this is the hat for me, said Horse. The end. So they found this box full of hats, but they're all thinking about different ways to use what they found. So they have different points of view. Okay? Horse found a box of hats. What does he want the hats for? What does he want a hat for? So we're going to look for clues in our story. So usually what the character says could be a clue. So Horse says on page 123, he says, "Look at all those hats. Who wants one?" Hen asked Hen. "I do," cried Horse. "It's smart to wear a hat. A hat will keep the sun out of my eyes." So we're going to write that clue. It's something that Horse said. So Horse said, a hat will keep the sun out of my eyes. So Horse saw this box of hats and he's like, yes, I want a hat to keep the sun out of my eyes. So what is Horse thinking of using this box for, the hats in this box? His point of view is that he wants to protect his eyes. He saw this hat, hit this box, and he's like, yeah, I can use these to protect his eyes. So that's what Horse wants the box for, or the hats in the box. That's his point of view. What does Hen want to use the hat for? Do you remember? What does she say? Well, we have to go back in our book and see what she said. Hen says, Hen stuck her head in the box. She pulled out a flat, round hat. Try this hat, Hen told Horse. No, that hat is too flat, said Horse. A flat hat makes a good nest, clucked Hen. So she took the hat and she marched away. So, what does Hen want to use this hat for? She says, a flat hat makes a good nest. So that's our clue. She says it. A flat hat makes a good nest. And I'll slow down for you guys. I know that I'm going a little fast. A flat hat makes a good nest. So what does she want to use the hat for? What's her point of view? She thinks the hat will be good for making a nest. So she wants it to use it to make a nest. That's her point of view. She saw this box and thought, ooh, this will be good to make a nest. And then finally, we have Cat. What does Cat want to use the hat for? On page 127, Cat says, "Thick yarn is nice," said Cat. "I will take the whole hat apart so I can play with the yarn." She dragged the hat away. So what does Cat want to use the hat for? She says, thick yarn is nice. That's our clue. Thick yarn is nice. So she likes the hat with a thick yarn. And her point of view is that hats are good for playing. She's gonna take that hat apart and she's gonna play with it. So her point of view is that the hat is good because it's something to play with. Okay? Now, you would think, if I told you, you found a box of hats, you would think, oh, hats are good to cover you from the sun. That's what we think. That's our point of view. But look at all the other point of views we found. Okay, some people see a hat and they think it'll make a good nest. Some people see a hat and they think that it might be good to play with. So point of view is the way that somebody, a character or a person, sees something differently. Okay, so we might be looking at the same thing, but because we're all different, we all see it differently. Okay? Go ahead and finish that writing. And then you have one more page you're gonna work on for the R sound. We have the R sound. So this is page 219 in your squirrel book. Your directions say, read the sentence. Circle the word that completes each sentence. Write the word on the line. So we have card and car. They have, and underline this with me, the R sound. R, R. Card, car. Shark, sharp. We have the R sound. Shark, shark. Sharp, sharp. Over here we have far, R, R, far. Arm, farm, arm, farm. Barn, barn. Ark, bark, R. Ark, park, R, park. Art, part, R, part. So you're gonna pick the word that best fits. I'm only gonna do 2 and then you're gonna do the rest. I got a blank in the mail today. I got a card in the mail today. I got a car in the mail today. Which one sounds better? So we're gonna circle it. Card. I wish I got a car in the mail. Card. I got a card in the mail. And then we have shark, sharp. A blank can swim fast. A shark can swim fast. A sharp can swim fast. Which one makes more sense? Shark. A shark. Okay, I want you to try the rest on your own, and then that's gonna be all for your language arts for today. Okie dokie.